The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. We are missing our girl Bree, but she will be back with us next week. But ladies, how y'all doing this morning? Wake up! Y'all good? Come on, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it.
Good job, Chris. Yeah.
He knows the vibe.
Yeah, he's been converted. She's influenced him.
I feel like I've influenced y'all too. You know?
It's
great.
It's sick a little bit.
It's fine. Well, you know what else is great? The fact that Perrion Winfrey, his 21-day practice window has been opened as of yesterday. Thoughts on that? I mean, I actually did get a quick second with him. He was rushing to get in the shower, but he said that he was expecting to be back a little sooner. But he told me that he's just happy to be back. He's been kind of putting in some extra work with that back, some extra core work, running a lot more. So he feels 100% right now. So glad to have him back. Ladies, what y'all think?
Oh, I thought he was one of the pleasant stories of training camp. Yeah. Absolutely. And to have him go on IR at the beginning of the regular season, you look back and you say it was a blow. And you look at the depth at defensive tackle, and week to week, it's been a coach's decision as to whether or not it's going to be Mozzie Smith or Jay Toia, right? And so I think you put Winfrey in the mix there, and have him play there behind Osa and Kenny Clark and along with Solomon Thomas, and it can only help, that's for sure. I mean, just look at the run defense and what's been happening. And also the way that he was creating some pressure in preseason and the limit. Now, I know you're going against the backups along the defensive line, and you're not showing everything, certainly, in regards to pass rush in preseason, but I say it can only help.
Yeah, he's incredibly just naturally gifted. His length and his size is something that stood out, like you said, Christy, during preseason, during training camp. And I mean, there were times like his length really, to me, gave some of your better interior players issues in practices and stuff. So definitely want to, get to see him get involved on the inside. And what is interesting about Perrion is, like, despite the fact that he's not like this huge guy, he is a big guy, but he's not a traditional nose tackle, but because of the length and all that stuff, he is able to kind of beat guys off their spots. His foot quickness is a little bit faster than a lot of interior players, so it'll be cool to see if he can translate that into games, in game and from what we saw in training camp.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you see over the years is, as the game evolves, is you used to be your two defensive tackles if you played a 4-3. I mean, those guys were the human speed bumps, right? Just big and the athleticism of these guys now, and as you say, just the length and so it could be interesting, but it also just a reminder. Winfrey is the heartwarming story from at the roster cuts, right, at the end of camp, and he was brought into coach's office, and he thinks he's going to get cut. This is a guy who came from UFL, and it's like, oh, you made the team, and he started, he broke down a little bit and made coach break down. Yeah, so it's really a great story.
Why they do him like that?
I'm scared.
Are they? Why they do him like that? I would have been stressed out, because he thought he was so anxious that he started texting his people immediately. He's like,
Scared me. Yeah, that would stress me out too.
Yeah, you think it's gonna be on the Hard Knocks?
I don't know. I think he has to do something first.
Yeah,
he got to do something. He got to do something in the games.
Yeah, and Chris B may be able to help us on that. Were they rolling as early as that?
Yeah, I'm being nosy.
At the end of August?
Maybe
I don't
probably
know.
not.
I don't know, but if he does do something, they can certainly at least have the story told if they don't have the exact footage of him being in there.
Okay, awesome.
They weren't rolling on.
They were not rolling it.
They don't show up until right around Thanksgiving.
So it's going to be towards the end of the season then.
Dang. Well, that sucks.
I know. I would like to.
It's kind of the end of the season Hard Knocks, kind of how it works.
Well, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I know we were supposed to be sticking with Cowboys offense, Arizona defense. But while we're on the topic of defensive tackles, I know we mentioned it yesterday of just kind of that interior defensive line has kind of, with Osa specifically, hasn't really lived up to the standard this season. But Christy, I do want to know your thoughts. Like, what's kind of your thoughts on the way that this interior defensive line has played?
Well, I think that Solomon Thomas has been a great addition, and I would argue that he's been the most consistent. I don't know if y'all we in agreement on that. I mean, week to week. And what do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even with the addition of Kenny Clark, I mean, you saw the presence that he now brings to that interior, but I mean, you've had some ups and downs a little bit. Mm-hmm. He actually spoke yesterday in locker room and kind of he was asked, how do you execute? Because coaches, and the coordinators have talked about, it starts with practice, right? And he was like, I mean, speaking for myself, I feel like I've been prepared, but it goes down to the way that everybody's preparing, of course, through the weekend. So I don't know if that was maybe an underlining message I was kind of grasping from that, but
yeah. Well, I also think, Nicole, when someone like Osa, when they hit their big payday, rightly or wrongly, mainly rightly, the expectations go up from the fan base and the media, and I would say internally as well, because I think it's added pressure for most of them, the ones who play the right way and care and aren't just doing it for a paycheck, right? But doing it for their teammates and everything. But just look at the numbers and the way that they have not been able to consistently stop the run, if at all. Yeah. And that's going to be a priority this week. It is every week. That's such a truism. Sorry to be so trite. But, but you could go across the whole line. I would say the ends aren't playing up. I thought Sam Williams would really cash in this year. I really did. And I think we talked about it earlier in the week. That's not to say it's not going to happen in the second half of the season, beginning with Monday night in Week 9. But we hadn't seen it yet. And they know it. That's you're to your point. They were all talking about that yesterday.
Yeah. No, Christy, I was about to let you keep going. But
I do appreciate.
I agree.
They're answering the questions, I think, honestly and thoughtfully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I guess I wouldn't say disappointment. Well, maybe it is disappointment. Is across this defensive line, like Christy said. Like I personally expected a little bit more from Dante Fowler.
Absolutely,
returning back to Dallas after having a big year with the Washington Commanders. Like it just hasn't. Marshawn Nealon is a gentleman that I was looking to take a step this year. He's obviously dealt with injuries, but I mean, we haven't even gotten to see him on the field consistently to get a grasp of like his growth and development. It just, to your point, Christy, we definitely the defensive tackles not playing well as a collective has hurt you, but also too your ends and that rotation is something, when Shadi mentioned the other day, like there will be changes and stuff like that. I wonder if we start seeing there's more certain gentlemen are playing longer snaps or that rotation starts to become less of that heavy rotation and you just if you're playing out there then you really are the best guys that we feel like right now.
And I just like to add one more point to some of the names that we mentioned with Sam and Mozzie and Marshawn Nealon. The reason why I mentioned those three guys in particular is if this is a draft and develop team and you're committing high picks at that position, you have to have them pay off because ad nauseum, we have heard about the investment financially in the offensive side of the ball. That's where the money goes, and rightfully so when you've got those star players, right? And you want to be able to re-sign a George Pickens. All of you who are saying, trade him now so you can get something, have you lost your mind? Watch the games. Look at what a difference he has made. But when you have that kind of investment or potentially going to invest even more by bringing, hopefully re-signing someone like a George Pickens, or continuing, like Tyler Booker this year, investing in the offensive line. You have to have those draft and develop players on the defensive side of the ball pay off. And frankly, it hasn't happened over the last few years, and it is killing this team.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of this trade talks with George Pickens. I'm fed up.
It's
because
weird.
it's weird. It's weird. Like,
Well, I mean,
I don't like it. Granted, love everybody who's on the beat. They're great guys. But I do not like the talk. You just went from trying to figure out your offense last year. I mean, hell, even the year before, technically you figured it out later in the year, but you had pieces. Like, you had Brandon Cooks, you had CeeDee Lamb, you had all these guys, Jake Ferguson playing his best year of his career. I mean, but then last year, of course, you were kind of handed basically bare bones and said, hey, figure it out. But now you've got all these weapons and you finally figured it out. So don't, what's they say? What is it? They say, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I'm looking for. If it ain't broke, don't freaking fix it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or I would say bird in the hand, right? Pickens is the bird in the hand. If you can, it may cost $30 million on average per year to re-sign him. But, oh, my gosh, what a weapon and what a difference he's made with all the big plays. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. We're going to focus more on defense today. But, come on, but again, you have to have those young guys that you've invested that draft capital in pay off. And they just, to this point, haven't performed to the expected level, at least not yet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Cowboys offense. We're going to stick with that today. And later next in the segment, we got Aisha's Insights, the one and only, the best part of the show, coming up after the break. We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Cowboys Nation limited single-game tickets are available now, so get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC East rival Eagles, plus the Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals this Monday night. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of your Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. It's time to break down this Cowboys offense taking down Arizona defense. And Aisha, what you got? What you got? I'll save my questions for after.
No, you good. This is an interesting unit when you start looking into the unit because if you just looked at the stats and stuff, you would be like, oh, okay, they do some things well. They stop the run well. There are a pretty sound defense, but they are not a flashy defense. They're not going to do a whole bunch of you're not going to have a lot of big plays or splash plays, but they're going to play you pretty straight up. And they have some guys on each level. They got a couple of guys that play really well on each level, which kind of helps things work. They are under defensive coordinator Nick Rollis. He was the linebackers coach with Philly before coming over to Arizona. He's been with Arizona since 2023. The way that their system is, it's kind of an aggressive system. Both of their defensive line is a defensive line that's really looking to stop the run. And you see that in the pass rush numbers, and you see that in the lack of pass rush numbers, is that they are really dead set on stopping the run. So when you start getting into the statistics, this is their rushing defense is yards per game is 12th with 100.9 yards per game. Passing yards per game, they are 25th. They'll give up about 235 yards in the pass. But I will say in the red zone, when you start looking at them in the red zone, they're 15th. They tighten up a little bit when they get down there. Again, just a kind of a bend, don't break type defense. When you look at how they decide to do things, when you talk about their defensive line, they're at 22nd in pressure rate. They're not getting to the quarterback that much. We over here fussing and fighting about Dallas, and honestly, Dallas is getting more pressure on the offense than they are. They are 11th in rushing efficiency. All that means is that, when teams try to run the ball on them, they're not seeing a crap ton of success. That's the thing, again, that stands out the most, is how their linebackers and their defensive line will come and stand up in the run. They are also 6th on third down. Dallas has been one of the better teams on third down, but we have seen them struggle this last couple of weeks to continue to sustain drives and stay ahead of the chains. That's going to be important in this game. Because, again, this isn't an Arizona defense that's going to do a whole bunch of flashy stuff, but they are going to make you have to work for most plays. They're not going to give up a crap ton of explosive plays, and they're going to make you have to work really hard to matriculate downfield. You got anything, Christy, that you noticed, or Nicole?
Yeah, I would just say, with their they are good on third down.
Yeah.
And that's something that Shadi talked about yesterday is – having to win on first down, not be in the long down and distance. We talk about it ad nauseum on this show, but and they do commit to the run, and we talk about play action and making sure that you have the defense respect that. But I thought that Shadi made a point yesterday when he was talking about his own offense, saying that you have to win on first down so that it's not second and forever, that you give up the play action because they know you have to pass the ball. But I do have one question for you in regards to when you watched Arizona, because Tucker Kraft of Green Bay just absolutely killed him, particularly in the second half of that narrow loss by the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. Of course, they had their bye week this past week, but how do you think that is in regards to matchups with Jake Ferguson getting back on track this week after going without a catch last week?
Well, yeah, it's going to be important for this offensive line to play better, because going into last week's game, even so, you're looking at the Denver linebackers, and you're like, oh yeah, these guys play the run well, but there are some areas you can attack him in the pass, and that's something that you see when you talk about this Cardinals defense, is that their second level, whereas Wilson is fantastic against the run. He will come up and tackle and fill. They struggle in coverage as a unit. And so I think that's where you saw Tucker Kraft be able to get after it a little bit. Also, too, when they go into their nickel package, it is not, I wouldn't say that this gentleman is just like a liability, but their slot corner, Thompson, he can sometimes get a little twisted in the side. He's I think his size is decent, but going up against a guy like a Jake Ferguson, I do think he could beat him off the spot. Dallas, obviously Denver committed to stopping Jake Ferguson last week. They were really, I was surprised at how many times you saw them kind of shade a guy over to him. They were not going to let him beat you in the middle of the field, and attacking the middle of the field opens up everything. I need Dallas and Dak to be able to hit that this week, because they weren't able to get it last week. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That was something I wanted to talk about, is like they weren't able to take advantage of some of the linebacker coverage issues against Denver last week. Is that something that they're going to be able to do at home? Or are they going to focus on it this game?
My question is more so the Cowboys' offensive line, just because they have a guy named Josh Sweat over there.
Oh, he can play.
I think he can play a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But no, talking about him and the challenge that he brings to a guy like Terrence Steele, who's had some ups and downs this year. But, I mean, he, like I said, he's had some moments. But does it give you a little confidence that, last week they were able to obviously hold this Denver Broncos defensive line to just 2 sacks, one of the best pass rushing teams in the NFL. Granted, still 2 sacks is still not a good number. But does it give you a little bit more confidence, that they did do that heading into this?
Let me just say that that was a case last week where stats lied.
Yeah,
because the pass rush was very effective in affecting Dak. He was harassed all day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let me also say. You asked, are you encouraged? I'm encouraged that this defensive line ain't Denver's defensive line.
Hello.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted. Like, no, Josh Sweat is a guy we're familiar with. We played with Philly for a little bit. He has 7 tackles for loss on the year, 5 sacks on the year. But Calais Campbell is another gentleman who is still kicking. You hear me? He got that old man strength still. And what they'll do, I mean, obviously stopping the run, he's a handful on how he can get up on your guards and your tackles. They will move him across that defensive line, and when they move him in the inside, kind of similar to how we're kind of just talking about Perrion. Like, obviously Perrion's not a Calais Campbell, but body type, length, powerful, but also has some speed, can move on the inside, do some things. He can play the game like that. He has 5 tackles for loss on the season and 3 sacks. I feel like he isn't also a matchup that I worry about when you talk about this Dallas offensive line. I think him and Tyler Booker, that's going to be a heck of a matchup to watch. The rookie's going to have his hands full.
I just want to put something in perspective on Calais Campbell. Now, Calais Campbell, I mean, the dude's 37 years old. 39 years old, and this is his 18th season. So just to put in perspective,
Insane.
When he was drafted, the Cowboys had 2 first-round picks that year. This is how long ago this was when Calais Campbell entered the league. Felix Jones and Mike Jenkins. Does that feel like a long time ago? It was. And this guy is still doing it, and at a high level. As the starter, and, not just a rotation piece coming in and working in and just like in pass rush situations. I mean, the guy, this will be his 250th career start in the NFL at that position where your body gets beat to heck every week. And those 250 career starts are the most of all the active players. And you say, isn't Aaron Rodgers older? And hasn't he been in the league longer? Well, he has one more start. And he has been in the league longer. But remember, he sat for a few years behind Brett Favre. So Calais Campbell, he is also 7 years older than his defensive coordinator. And I'm so glad Aisha mentioned Nick Rawlis, because this is a wonder kid when it comes to NFL coaching. He was only 27 years old as a position coach when he was on Sirianni's staff and working under Jonathan Gannon, who was the defensive coordinator. So, Schottenheimer mentioned Rawlis yesterday, but and he was only 29 when he was named defensive coordinator, as Aisha said, in 2023. So, I mean, literally, Calais Campbell is 7 years older than his coordinator. That's amazing.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Well, I remember
That's crazy.
2 extremes: a really old player and a really young coach.
No, I think he's kind of an anomaly. It's a testament to how he takes care of his body. He takes care of himself. I would not be just intent on trying to run the ball over there at him. However, I would attack the other end, and I think Dante Stills is a fine player, but as far as getting sealed on the outside, that's something that he struggled with, and being able to set the edge on that side. Also, too, I would hope for that Dallas forces their cornerbacks to come up and tackle. We haven't talked about the secondary much, but this is a pretty young secondary. There's some inexperience in there too. Will Johnson, the rookie, he's playing really good football. I know a lot of people get worried about taking a corner early like that, but he's came out in his rookie season and really translated a lot of what we saw on the college tape to the NFL. Obviously, Budda Baker's out there. The two safeties for them, I think, play some pretty good football. Now, Budda, because he is aggressive, he will get caught peeking in the backfield. I think Dallas will be able to take advantage of getting him to bite sometimes. That's just who he is. I don't think he's going to change. He's been this way for a while. He's a missile in the run game when he comes down and helps and fills. But when you play like that, sometimes from that position, guys can get caught looking in the backfield every now and then. What you got?
I was going to ask, obviously we've talked about the opportunities in the secondary. You mentioned that the Cowboys can attack, but I have the opening drive for the Dallas Cowboys against Denver last week. Obviously, they get the ball at the Dallas 48. They mix in a little bit of Brevin Spanford. He gets a 9-yard pickup. Javonte Williams gets a first down. Tay back and forth. They get CeeDee Lamb, of course, involved. They get down to the goal line and, of course, only settle for a field goal. Of course, that was because of a penalty on Brock Hoffman, false start penalty there. But when you look at the opening series for Dallas, how do you want them to, we can say script it?
I would say,
Best way.
No, go ahead.
I would say,
I mean, they were effective moving it as long as you don't have the self-inflicted wounds,
That
right?
part.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I know it was called on Hoffman, but unfair to Hoffman because it was Guyton who flinched.
Not it was guy. She had to fix that. Oh, also, as a matter of fact, while we were talking about penalties, I had to correct myself from yesterday. The Arizona Cardinals are 18th in penalties with 54.
Yeah, and you mentioned Will Johnson. He had 3 of them against the Packers, and one of them was when you're in press coverage, like right up on the line, like press coverage and hands to the face. So I think that could be really interesting pickings.
No, I'm
against
I'm
him.
glad
But
you
I'm
brought
sorry
that up.
against.
No,
Yeah, I didn't mean to get us off track there.
No. That's on track. That was something that I wanted to mention is that he is a rookie.
Yeah.
He's still a nugget. And that's that was one of the elements of his game coming out of college. This is a press corner. He is not afraid to get up in your face and try to redirect you and jam at the line of scrimmage. But sometimes, if you are going up against another savvy veteran, then they can make you pay. And I think that's something Pickens can do against him. But what was we talking about?
Oh, no, I just asked
About improving that open drive. Yeah.
Dallas got to run the ball better.
Yeah.
Dallas got to run the ball better. I understand, kind of some of the things that happened. You talked about, the false starts and stuff like that, but Dallas has to win the line of scrimmage better in this upcoming game. That's really one of the biggest differences in their losses and their wins, or their bad losses and their wins, is their ability to run the ball. It's just something, that balance and them not being one-dimensional is going to be pivotal in this game for them to get better, for them to establish the ground game early, or try to, at the very least, in this game.
Do y'all see Brevin Spanford getting a lot of action in this game?
In the run, obviously, yeah, heck yeah, girl. But as a receiver, I just don't know. How do you feel? I want them to. Yeah, I feel like he's capable, but what is it that is keeping them from?
Well, okay. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Cavonte Turpin, and Javonte Williams running the ball.
She poses a great point.
No, I mean, no, really. Although one thing that he's so tall. He's such a physical mismatch. How long have we been saying, ooh, in the red zone?
I beg of thee.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're not going to throw it to Pickens or CD down there? No, I mean, really. Or Jake Ferguson, who, by the way, leads NFL tight ends in touchdowns.
No, that's
How
good.
about catch people off surprise?
That's what I was about to say. If you try and do some trickery, that would be awesome. He got it.
Yeah, but any incompletion to Brevin Spanford down there, and everybody will be, why are they throwing it? I really want Brev. It's kind of funny because Princeton Fant, who's practice squad tight end, we kind of have a little pregame joke now down on the sideline before warmups, and it's like who's going to get the touchdowns today? At tight end, and And I always keep saying, it's going to be Brevin Day. It's going to be Brevin Day. And then Jake takes all of them, So, but could be Monday night. Have his breakout game on Monday Night Football on a national stage. That'd be really cool.
Is that a bold take, Christy?
What?
You know what? Let me think about it when we do tomorrow. Let me think about it. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. We'll have our farmer's dog at the game.
All right, we're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Keep diving into this Cowboys-Arizona matchup up next.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Enjoy performances from Cat Hasty and other local artists. Get a behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium. Meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and Cowboy alumni and more. Get your tickets for the next Rally Day this Saturday, November 2nd at AT&TStadium.com/rallydays.
We got 4 days till kickoff. Are y'all ready?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't get enough energy from that.
Yeah. Come on, Aisha.
Christy,
We didn't even get a...
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Didn't even get...
I was thinking.
Wake up!
Yeah. I'm awake. I was thinking.
You see how Christy just said you did? You did, yeah.
I'm emotionally
We ain't
starting
like
to dissociate.
I don't like that.
I can't
You
think.
need to fix it. Now. Cowboys, Arizona on Monday Night Football primetime. You better be having some energy, Aisha.
Jeez.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and I need biggest key of the game for the Dallas Cowboys. What you got, Aisha?
Well, there's a couple of things that I was being nosy because I was looking. And there's a couple of things that stand out about this Cardinals defense. Amazing stat came out the other week from the Phoenix Cardinals. They're stat people, I guess. They're stat people. And this just talks about the Arizona Cardinals and defensively and how poorly they've played in the fourth quarter. First 3 quarters of play, they're fourth in the NFL up until last week. They're fourth in the NFL with 78 points scored. And then you get into the fourth quarter, they're last in the NFL with 76 points scored in the fourth quarter. Got to hear a little bit from defensive coordinator Nick Rollis yesterday about this, and he just said, like, that's something we're really looking at, trying to close games better. So when we were talking about, Dallas starting better and making sure that they're cashing in these red zone trips, you got a Arizona team that is looking to try to figure out how to finish games. And that's And that's something that's really cool, Christy, because I feel like in my time as being an analyst, and I know we've talked about, is that's a skill.
Sure.
Finishing games is a skill. Like, closing out games is something that teams have to sometimes learn. And when you look at the Cardinals, they have literally lost so many games close because they can't close out games. And so is that going to show its head in this game? We'll see.
You know, I think part of that is you need in the fourth quarter your stud pass rusher to step up. And look at what Micah did in that fourth quarter with, Arizona's most recent loss. The stud players step up and make the plays. And as good and as solid as Arizona is, they're kind of meat and potatoes. I agree with what Aisha said earlier. They're very solid, but they're not flashy, and they haven't really made the big plays, and they also have just been middle of the pack when it comes to takeaways. They only have 7 takeaways for the entire season. So a catalytic player or a catalytic play hasn't really happened for them in the fourth quarter, and it's really hurt them.
Sometimes that can be beneficial, though, like when you're so simple, but like Aisha made a good point earlier, it still sets them up for success. Or Christy, when we're talking
it was really
offline.
Yeah, that's not an insult to say meat and potatoes. Believe me, I will take meat and potatoes. I will take a salad right now. Okay? Come on.
Christy is tired.
Y'all hurt my Christy. She is sick of it. She said, I will take a salad. I just need some sustenance.
A salad with like some chicken on it, or like Asian beef with a little sesame dressing.
Protein.
But no, it's facts. And granted, we can't, blame the offense for, of course, their struggles. But, I just think that I'd take the lack of big plays and the highlight reel worthy plays in a win any day.
Absolutely.
And I think we saw it. Basically, Shotty said that he said it in a very animated way, but he said, I don't care about none of them stats if we're not winning games. Pickens has said that as well.
Sure.
Players want to win games.
Well, but here's the thing: Arizona's defense has set they've had the ball on off. Jacoby Brissett has had opportunities on the final passes of the game, the past 2 games, for them to win. Yeah. So the defense for Arizona did do enough to set up their offense to have a chance, and passes incomplete in the end zone.
Yeah.
So
they got some key. I mean, I know we're gonna get more information on, but they do have some key like pass rusher guys and stuff. Like, I mean, Darius Robinson comes to mind that is dealing with a pectoral. When you talk about the catalytic player, that's what they drafted him to be.
Sure.
So some of those guys that I think that they were looking at to come in and be those guys, like Josh Sweat misses his roadie.
Yeah,
it happens like that.
I feel it. Well, what's something that has to happen for Dallas's offense to have success?
It is going to, for me, ladies, it's going to be them being able to run the ball against some of these stacked boxes. When you look at the Carolina game, when you look at the Bears game, when you look at some of these games where Dallas has struggled to stop the run to run the ball last week also, you're talking about there being 5 or more defensive linemen at the line of scrimmage. And I think that that's partially because of you got guys kind of being inserted, through the season as guys getting healthier or, guys being taken away. But also, too, that's just something Dallas has struggled against. And when you talk about the Arizona Cardinals, they are fifth in the NFL of having 5 or more defensive linemen at the line of scrimmage in the running game. And so for Dallas, and with them, a lot of the time that could be a linebacker. You'll see Browning come from depth. You'll see him knife through and be able to do some things, stopping the run. Also, too, we talked about Wilson as well. Like Mac Wilson, he is someone that can get to the other hash. Like, these guys have some sideline-to-sideline speed when it comes to stopping the run. So for me, it's going to be Dallas picking up Arizona's run blitzes and also Dak navigating when they do bring 5 or more linemen, who's dropping, who's actually blitzing. The offensive line's communication is going to have to be better. They struggled this past week. Are they going to be better at home? But this is a hump that this Dallas run game needs to get over, because this is a little bit of a trend, is when they see teams that load the box a little bit more, that they're struggling to move the ball.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Shadi said, they do play a lot of multiple fronts, and sometimes they'll even bring in 3 safeties. But here's the thing. If they load the box, boy, you can pop some big plays if you get your blockers to the second level. So this is actually a potential game where you get the long runs as your big plays. If you can just handle those guys up front and get to the second level, then boom, you're through. And I would just add one more thing, Nicole, and that is, traditionally in football, you say, oh, the run sets up the pass. But I love Aisha's point on this. This could be a game where the pass, going over, making him, then sets up the run, because we can't stack the box.
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, the girl.
Well, I was looking at Javonte Williams' numbers with defenders in the box, and he has with 6 or fewer guys in the box, he has a success rate of 23%, 1 touchdown. When there's 7 defenders in the box, he has a 19% success rate, 1 touchdown, but also 200 yards. And then a stacked box, 8+ in the box, he has a 15%, 6 touchdowns and 75 yards, which is kind of nuts. So yeah, to your point.
No, that's a fantastic. Thank you for that.
Good.
Thank you for the additional stats to kind of verify that.
It does make it tougher to run, but again, if he gets
time,
just get the second level and get past.
Yeah, if Dak had some time last week, there were some opportunities to attack down the field, and also at that second level too. But I loved your point that you made, Christy, about some of the big runs that you think will be there. We got to see Jadon Blue get after it a little bit last week. I feel like his explosiveness could be helpful in this game. We know the fumble and all that stuff. We know. But I think that his speed could be helpful in attacking, again, the perimeter of this Cardinals defense, and having those corners, making those corners. Now, Will Johnson will come up and tackle. I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about the other guys, having them come up and have it to help out in the run.
Who on this offensive line has the biggest task?
Cooper Beebe gonna be back this week. I
Ooh.
mean that's
gonna make me happy. If
very well could happen.
I'm gonna be happy. That would be a boost for this Dallas offensive line. I think Hoffman has played some fantastic football, but I think you get a little bit more power, a little bit more anchor from that center position with the Cooper Beebe. He is gonna have to acclimate. He has to trust that ankle. He has to, but I would say, to answer your question, Nicole, to me, it's going to be, I really think, everybody going to get something with Calais Campbell because they're going to move him around. But if he is predominantly lined up against Booker, that is a heck of a matchup for your rookie to see, because Calais Campbell got a tool bag. And so this is going to be a matchup that's going to test Tyler Booker a lot.
Tyler Booker's played some of his best ball this season, of course, fresh off one of his better games against Denver, allowed I believe two pressures on 46 pass blocking snaps. So certainly loving what we're seeing from T. Book. But Christy, what you got?
What was the
question?
Task? No. Along the offensive line. If BB comes back, that's huge. I agree. That is going to be a fun matchup. The old school, new school, Campbell and Booker. But I'd like to see Terrence Steele rebound this week.
Yeah, the tackles. I think the tackles, with how you brought up the safeties and how they like to blitz the safeties and some of the stuff they like to do. The tackles and the running backs and whoever going to have their hands full, because
Yeah, this is one, and this is one where when we talk about, this is including the backs, Javonte Williams, or if Jaden Blue is out there, identification is super important when Buda Baker's, which gap he's coming in if and when they send him. So let's talk about this collectively and not just the 5 guys up front.
Who about in the passing game? Probably nobody, but
I just the way that Kraft and exposed him in the fourth quarter. I also was with Jake Ferguson in an event on Tuesday. By the way, congratulations to Jake for being nominated for league-wide for Salute to Service. And we were out at Medal of Honor Museum on Tuesday, and great to see him interact with all those junior high kids and our Medal of Honor winner on Tuesday. So maybe I'm being a little sentimental, but I'm going to go with Jake.
Okay.
Okay.
In the passing game
Big
for
game.
me, I'm gonna say CeeDee Lamb and Pickens. I'm gonna say
You get one. No, I'm just kidding.
okay.
Joking.
Well,
I was joking.
Well, she can take one, and I have a feeling you're going to take the other.
Yeah, I was.
well just really
And if you don't, I will, along with Jake.
Dallas has been better at home as an offense. I think the communication is better. I think all those things, like guys just settle in better. And I think Dak will be able to see things better this game and diagnose at the line of scrimmage and take advantage when they decide to blitz, when they decide to. Because if they're not getting pressure the way they want to, they're going to.
Yeah. I'm going to go George Pickens. I'm
tired.
It's fine. Yeah. 17 of his third down or fourth down catches, have been for first downs. He leads the NFL in that. So, yeah, keep targeting GP, let him eat. You see what I did say?
Love that.
Target
Yeah.
GP, let him eat.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Hopefully the Cowboys offense can eat against Arizona because we need a win. We need a win heading into the bye. I need to have them to have all the momentum they can get coming back out of the bye. So
And I'm tired of salad.
that too. Chrissy's sick. It's all good. All right. That's a wrap for today's show. We'll be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. For Chrissy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!